Hi guys, Cynthia here, and today, I'm going to show you how I water my garden without irrigation. A lot of you guys know that my garden is very far from my house. Well, not that far, but further than, you know, the normal garden. Um, and I don't have irrigation out here. But I do have a proficient way to water my garden. I have two different ways that I water my garden. The first way that I'm going to show you is by this company called Gardening in Minutes. So they don't know who I am. This is not sponsored, just an FYI, but I absolutely love their product. What's really cool about Gardening in Minutes is that depending on the size of your bed, the shape, the size, whether it's a circle, a square, whatever it is, you can literally get it custom designed for any particular bed. It is quite awesome. I have them in all beds but one. I, by mistake, did not order enough, which is kind of strange. I really thought I ordered two, but then the gardening season started and I needed to plant stuff in, and I was like, oh, I can order it. Not a big deal. It should get it. They deliver pretty quickly, and you can also get on Amazon. They have a Gardening in Minutes store on the Amazon.com website. So it's would have been super fast delivery, but I was just like, it is what it is. So the first way I water is by Gardening in Minutes, and let me show you how that works. So let me show you what it looks like. It is a grid, and each grid is a square foot. So what's really great is that if you are gardening and you're doing square foot gardening, for example, this is going to help you kind of stay in line and in check. Throughout all of these little squares, there's going to be little tiny holes, very similar to, an irrigation line. Let me bring you around this way where you can see where I took it off, but this is what connects to the grid, and that will also connect to your hose. Alrighty, so right here, you'll see the connector. I'll move that leaf out of the way. You'll see the connector right there, and this is just gonna connect to this, and this end will connect to your hose. And this is super simple, and it stays on there pretty tight. I didn't push it at all really hard. I just kind of did that. So another very important thing, that this is going to be another company that I'm going to talk about. This is Hoselink. Hoselink has this thing called a Quick Connect, which is probably my favorite tool that they sell. I mean, they sell so many great things, but by far, this is just a great tool. All you have to do, let me zoom out so you can see better. All I do, that's better, is what's really great too is that this has a spinning top, so you don't have to spin your hose or anything like that. Just like that, make sure it's got a nice, tight, secure fit. So after that's really nice and tight, I'm going to turn my hose on slowly because it's a lot of pressure that's about to be released. There we go. Now, I don't know if you can see that really clearly, but every single square has an emitter. There are, what is it, 4 emitters on either side. You can see that going so clearly. Now, what I like to do is I let this run for about 20 to 30 minutes, depending how long, you want to water for. But I just let it run some time, and everything does really, really well, waters really well. If anything is kind of sorry, that was really strange. My camera just stopped working. But I was going to say is I let this run for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now, I water every other day, dependent on the heat level. But I want to show you something else that I use, and it's also in this bed. You can see that there. That is what's called an Oya. I have two in this bed, but let me show you another one that I have that actually will be easier to see, because now that this is being watered, I don't want to put my hands in there, but let me show you. Over here, I have an Oya. And this is the largest Oya you can possibly get. It actually does a 4x4 bed, which is excellent. And I have that in every bed in the event that I cannot water. This just gives me some kind of peace of mind. I will also link the Oya because really got me through my vacation this summer. I went on vacation and my Oya was doing all the work for me. But I will say that my favorite watering method is definitely using this gardening in minutes. I mean, not only does it water everything so evenly, you can see that there, but it also helps you if you are a square foot gardener. It really, really does. I love it. I'm definitely going to ensure that I buy one for that bed next year. And then all the other beds that I purchase all the other beds that I add this summer, I'm definitely going to go ahead and order it for those. All right, guys. So that is how I water my garden. I want to talk a little bit about both the Oyas and the gardening in minutes gridding. I will be putting a video somewhere here and I'll show you that they have just a ton of different options for different grids, different sizes. It's really a great invention. I actually saw it from this YouTuber that I really like. She lives in the high desert and hers are hooked up to irrigation, but it is, that is where I was like, oh my God, that is so smart. And then a long, long time ago when I first started gardening, I watched a Nick Pigioni, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, video, and he did this whole thing about square foot gardening. And I thought, you know, if I'm going to get started and I don't really know like how spacing is, and you can read seed packets and you can read anything, and it's never what it says. It either grows bigger than that or smaller, who knows, right? So I thought, oh, you know what? That would be great if I did the square foot gardening. That'll make it easy. Then after I made up my mind to do a square foot garden, and then I watched this video of this lady having this amazing gardening in minutes, I said, you know what, let me order it. And I was kind of nervous, so I ordered one at first, and then I was hook, line, sinker. It is quite amazing. And I know in the video I mentioned that, so it's a square foot and every single section, all four sides have four little watering, like tiny little holes that will just get every single section of your plant, which is why I really love this particular grid system. And I know you guys are probably thinking, wow, Cynthia, so you do a half an hour per bed and then you have all of these beds. That is a lot of time out here. But you know what? I love being in the garden. And if you are like me and you love to just sit out here and do like little garden tasks, it really goes by so quick. I just set an alarm and I listen to music and I do, you know, deadheading, I weed, I do all the things that I'm going to do anyway. So why not water? But what I'm going to do next year, and I will definitely bring you guys along with me for the process, is I'm going to attach some of the beds together. So these gardening in minutes, they can be attached to some more uh, irrigation tubes so that when I water one bed, I'm actually watering two beds. And I'm probably going to do, you know, those two together and these two together. And then whatever I decide to build, because we're going to build a few more beds this year and we're going to put them on this side, then I will add that to the grids. Something else I was thinking is also adding to the grids. I have these barrel planters, which I'm sure you guys have seen if you've watched my video, but I have these barrels that you can see there. And I thought about possibly seeing if they have gardening in minutes, you know, things for that. And I think they do because there's a thing that they ask on the site, and I'll put up so you can see all the different types of sizes that they have, whether your bed is a square, rectangle, or circular. So I'm pretty sure you can buy a grid for a circle. So I might go ahead and do that. I'm not exactly sure yet because I do have Oyas for those um, barrels, so I probably won't go ahead and do that. But it's something I am thinking about possibly adding it so that when I am watering, I can just literally water the entire garden. And I might go ahead and do that. I think it might be beneficial to me, quite honestly. Um, Also, I mentioned the Oyas. I absolutely love the Oyas. The Oyas saved my garden this summer. The very large ones that I mentioned that do the 4x4, you know, area 4x4 you know, footing or whatever it's called, uh, they actually last a good 3 to 4 days full of water, dependent on how hot it is, just FYI. And the smaller ones that do a 3 by 3 section, they last about 2 to 3 days. So now that's also dependent on how hot it is. That's dependent on if you, how, if you're getting any rain and stuff like that. But I will tell you, my garden did not suffer at all. And I was gone for 7 days. I came back and I think I filmed the video of like, oh my God, how does everything look? And everything was alive, perky, nothing was droopy. It was, it was pretty good. I was very happy with like my watering system. I don't want to say it's not expensive, because some of the grids, depending on the size of your beds, can be a good price. I think there's like the most I've seen, and obviously I'll link everything, and I'm sure you saw me scrolling. It's like $150, and that's like for a really, really, really big bed. And a lot of us don't have really, really big beds. They also have them on Amazon. So if have Prime, or like if they do like, like they have like the Amazon sales, sometimes you can find Gardening in Minutes on sale on Amazon. And I'll definitely link the Amazon link as well, because they do have an Amazon storefront. But I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have these grids. I absolutely love, love, love them. And I know you guys are probably thinking, why is your garden so far? And just for some perspective, let me show you that my house is that far. And I know you're thinking, why, Cynthia, would you do that to yourself? That seems silly. You can have a garden right by your house and, hook it up to irrigation. You're absolutely right. But we have a kid in this house, a teenager now, which is kind of sad. It's awful. But anyway, and I wanted to have the yard be open. He loves to play sports. Him and his dad, they love to, throw the ball around, and football and all these things, and baseball, and lots of things. And I didn't want my garden to be in the way of a kid having a good time. Not to mention that feeling of like, oh no, something got broken or ruined because someone threw a ball, and then I'd feel the guilt of him feeling sad that he broke something of mine. So I was like, you know what, let's put the garden back here. Not to mention that I have very mature trees, and even though I get morning sun and a little bit of afternoon sun, this is the best place if you want full, 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 full sun. And I also like to have some kind of peace and quiet. So as I mentioned, he is a teenager, and it's video game time. So if I was closer to the house, you could hear them screaming, laughing, having a good time, playing, all that stuff. So it was also a place I want it to be far away so that I can have that solitude. But I'm now going into a huge tangent. I will definitely link everything. I will link the Gardening in Minutes Amazon storefront, the Gardening in Minutes real website. I will also link, if you want nothing from this video, and I say if I can get you to buy one thing, now mind you, nothing's an affiliate link. I am not sponsored, nothing. I get nothing, would be the Hoselink Quick Connect. That to me is a lifesaver. It is so nice to just have the ability to shut on and shut off water and quickly connect to different, hoses and all the things. Like, I love it so much, and I definitely would suggest it. I am going to buy another one because I need another one, but that is by far the best thing that I have. And I will definitely link all of the Oyas. I will link some inexpensive ones that you can get on Amazon, and I will also link the one that I showed you, which is the Grow Oya. Kind of expensive, but still, definitely worth it. I love, love my Oyas. I did film a video about all the different types of Oyas that I have, and I actually showed you one of those there. So I think that's it for this video. Now I'm just talking to talk, but you can see my garden is thriving. It's thriving, and I don't have irrigation. I have Oyas and, my little quick connect to my gardening grid. But anyway, guys, I am definitely going to leave it there. I know this video was a little bit quick. It's just been so busy. I'm sure you can see that we're putting together the greenhouse. So I've just been, working on other things. But I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I'd love to have you. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And also tell me, like, how do you water your garden if you don't have irrigation? Other than like the hose in the hand. Like, I just don't want to do that. I already do that for the rest of this. That's why I'm really thinking that I'm going to attach the Gardening in Minute hose to all the other things here so that when I plug it in, voila, you know, everything gets watered. But anyway, guys, if you didn't get it done today, there is always tomorrow.